You're audible.
And keys. When we last left off, the party made their way deep into the mountain of Suicide Hollow. And cracking open the metaphorical egg in its yolky center, finding their cannibalistic comrade who has taken up residence and is determined to hunt down the treasure key on his own, or as on his own as he ever is. The party battles with the
Nice.
mad pirate captain and their dangerous alien parasite. And managing to emerge victorious with a final blow, the immediate dangers of the vessel have passed. However, as the party starts getting ready to leave and get what they came for to begin with, the party, or rather Greylog, has discovered that there are still some booby traps on this ship that are concealing what may potentially be a valuable treasure. Bringing the archaeologist down as the rest of the party now waits on board just in case anything goes down. Asari, when we left off, you busted open the Yavik sarcophagus, which you were able to correctly identify as being from the Kingdom of Autumnfall in the continent of Yav that you had visited with the party prior.
Okay.
And that is where we will pick back up.
Nice.
Asari, as you give a firm tug and crack the elaborate sarcophagus open, you see within is a skeleton, picked completely to the bone. Its scalp has been broken open, and everything within scooped free.
Like,
However,
was it broken, or did like someone like surgically do it?
make a medicine check.
Okay.
In the meantime, Greylog, looking over it, the skeleton already seems like it's on the verge of collapsing, and you suspect will likely not survive Asari's investigation. So you pay attention to the more immediate surroundings. You see that there are some arcane runes lining the inside of the coffin. It smells of stagnant blood, and behind the skeleton, through its bony ribcage, we are able to see what appears to be a almost coat of arms of a human heart with stitches and nails running through it, and blood trailing from the bottom.
I got a 17, by the way.
Do I recognize the coat of arms, and can I read the arcane symbols?
Oh, so are we talking like the heart symbol or like the anatomical heart?
Yeah, that is a good catch. I mean the heart symbol. However, it is a little more detailed, closer to an actual heart. And one thing at a time then, Greylog, first roll history at disadvantage. And while you're doing that, Asari, as you investigate the skeleton, sure enough, it already begins to crumble at your touch. But looking over it, the actual force that burst its skull appears to be just blunt and messy. It is by no means surgical. However, you do see that the inside of it has been picked clean to an unnatural degree. Whatever did this likely used just brute force to bust the skull open, but whatever they wanted from the inside was removed so delicately that the inside of the skull is completely clean. As an archaeologist, you know that is an infamously difficult thing to do, even with tools.
That's interesting.
Especially without breaking it outside of the entry point.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Greylog history?
It was a 16.
With disadvantage?
Correct.
Just clarifying. While it was foreign to you, you were close to the land where this coat of arms was used. This is the coat of arms of the Perusian kingdom Motenya. More specifically, This coat of arms was most famously wielded by the vampire Dracula during his attempt conquest of the continent, before he was stopped by a group of heroes decades ago.
Do you tell Asari this?
Probably.
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 Roll
Yes.
Arcana to identify the ruins, and I'll flavor in your explanation as we go.
Would I have to roll Arcana since he can read every language?
It's not about. Bear in mind, reading arcane ruins is a different skill than just translating a language. It's spellcraft.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. That is a 15.
Looking over it, it's a foreign type of magic than what you're used to. However, it is close to the kind of magic a story uses. So because of that, you at least have enough of a passing familiarity to work with what you're given. You are able to identify that these arcane ruins are the arcane spell words for create water and cure greater wounds. So whatever these runes are, they are made to use those two spells seemingly in tandem.
Oh. Is this like supposed to be some sort of like old-fashioned like revivals sarcophagus or something?
And I'll say, as you're investigating the ruins, Asari Greylog kind of mumbling a bit vaguely as he translates the ruins to himself, but he does pass on to you that this used to be wielded by a vampire that attempted a conquest of your homeland.
Would I know the stories? Since I am an archaeologist, would I know the stories?
It's less about you being an archaeologist and more you literally living there. Roll history.
Okay.
Well, and also don't forget, an archaeologist is completely different than a historian.
Yeah.
It is
No.
his story after all.
Clearly, an archaeologist knows everything, though.
Just like a certain doctor.
I never said that. 22.
Yes. It was one of the greater wars that Britannia has been involved with in recent memory. While at the time he was known as simply Vlad, Dracula had granted himself strange arcane abilities. They say that he could read minds and control them, that all who fell to him would join his army of the undead. While he never reached the Britannian mainland, he did come dangerously close to your borders. It was only the intervention of a villain's people that ensured Britannia's continued survival, as well as aforementioned, a group of adventurers who managed to best the vampire before he could breach the Britannian mainland.
Okay, so definitely bad guy vibes.
Very big bad guy vibes. There was very little to redeem the man, at least that you know of. However,
Okay.
you, as Anna has pointed out, you did have admittedly a biased upbringing that made you color things.
Right. Asari considers everything for a few minutes. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a complete douche, but, like, this guy is bad, right?
Greylock
She's
does
like-
not answer.
She's,
the
like,
meanwhile-
talking to everybody. If you guys are wondering, who
It's
she's
just
talking
you
to.
and- it's just you
Sorry,
and
Yeah,
Greylock
no
here.
one else
Muted.
is there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted.
No worries.
But- Yes, he is bad. And Matthew, you did mention that there were journals, right? That Red
up in
was
the-
keeping.
Yeah, up in the captain's quarters, you did find a few filthy journals that likely were maintained by the captain himself.
There
I would
goes
like
my
to-
brain. What kind of filthy? sorry.
As forementioned, covered in blood and rotting meat.
That's
Sanguis is
fair.
not a clean eater.
That's fair.
Can I check them out to see if there's any relevant information on the sarcophagus that Red had already gathered that we could use?
Smart thinking, Lincoln.
Roll investigation.
Can I if when I see him doing this, can I help him look?
Roll investigation at advantage.
Thank God, because I got a -1 to this. And I am not off to a good start.
Oh man. Hopefully Asari can help you.
No, because I rolled the same number on both of them.
Oh!
7.
What's your... Give me just a second here.
I do not like the sound of that voice, Matthew.
You shouldn't.
No way.
No, I can literally see you smiling.
As the two of you climb back up top and attempt to pull the journal free, as mentioned, there was a lot of statues and paintings and carvings on top of them. This is the little treasure hoard. And in your efforts to pull it free, you accomplish very little more than simply making a mess. And in the end, as you attempt to pull the journals free, you end up tearing a few of them. You just hope they weren't important. And the statues and paintings begin to fall over as you disturb their pristine organization.
Asari's immediately like, oh god, this is like every rule like broken right now.
And the paintings and statues fall atop of the journals you were not able to secure.
You just hear it go shit, 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 shit.
Avaben and Paul, you don't hear any screaming or anything that would concern you, but you do hear a racket of many valuable statues and paintings being knocked over.
And the sound of Asari just swearing every time you hear something.
In the end,
Raven just looks to Paul like, did you expect it to go any other way?
I mean, I'm not sure what I expected, but
Is there anything else in this sarcophagus, like a weapon the guy might have had, or like, is there anything else in here?
Not that you saw, and also Paul was talking. Paul?
Sorry.
I mean, I pretty much just said it right there. I didn't really expect too much. I was just, not sure what's in there, so I guess what's broken, not really, as long as it doesn't, get them in trouble. I don't really mind.
Asari, making your way down back into the little hidden room. You do not see much in the way of weapons. However, you may roll investigation to see if there's anything you missed.
I will do that.
And I am very curious. The corpse's teeth. Do they have vampire teeth?
They do not. They appear to be normal. You're not sure what species, but they don't appear unusual to you.
You said this is an investigation?
Yes.
Okay.
At least we know this guy's not a vampire.
Oh, that is the good news. 17.
Asari, you do not see any weapons on the skeleton. Just a few loose canvas cloth and leather clothes that are not exactly in pristine condition. However, as Greylog is investigating the body's teeth, the body at this point has collapsed completely into just a pile of bones. Asari, as you look over the coffin a bit more carefully, you do notice something that you had missed the first time.
Oh.
On the back, as with the skeleton collapsed, you no longer have much concern about tilting it. You tilt the coffin away from the wall and see on the back, surrounded by the blood-printed hands, the markings left behind, presumably by the former occupant of this room. You see written in heavily. It's a little difficult to read. Thankfully, it is in common. If found, return to Dr. Shanatral's Cathedral of Curiosities.
Oh, I should have known. No wonder it crumbled in my fingers. It's fucking fake. Alright, I'm gonna look around. We're totally gonna plan to, you know, are we going to do what I think we're gonna do? Should I just grab a piece of treasure?
I'm innocent of whatever the fuck happens on this one. Greylock will not be the one that opens this curse, and
I mean, as
everyone
long
then
as
go,
everybody else
"I
is
told
okay with
you
it,
so."
I will volunteer as tribute if everybody else thinks it's okay.
Why?
Are you back at the party?
I will say, the two of you leave the sarcophagus behind. Sorry, dismissing it as a unfortunate fake. And as you make your way up and back through the booby-trapped hallway, Greylog simply avails himself of any guilt in what's to come as Asari pitches to you all that she intends to break the curse, or rather trigger it.
Why?
I mean, it's that, or Paul, can't you heal curses? Maybe you should touch the treasure. I don't know.
I I mean, I can sort of, I guess I can remove them, though that fight may have, that's a good, that I even can do that right now.
Oh, you need some sleep?
Why do we need to do anything about the curse? It's not why we came here.
I can only, I don't got much magic left in me, but, I mean, is there a reason why we are doing this?
I guess I was under the impression that we were going to.
Well,
That's never
if
been the plan.
if we break the curse, at least those that are trapped here can at least move on.
True.
But that's not why we came here.
No, but, you know, it is nice to do something decent once in a while. You know that, right?
Well, yes, it is nice, but maybe we should focus on the goal. And if you two want to come back here and break the curse at a later date, that's your prerogative. Not to mention there are other people here who have had no input on whether or not we do this, and could be very well put at risk if we do this, with just unilaterally without asking any of them.
This is why I asked.
Well, I mean, he has a point, and, well, I do think the idea of, yes, if there are trapped souls here, saving them would be nice. Maybe at a later date we can, you know. I think, can't we come back here later with y'all's magic?
Yeah, I could get us back here easy. It's just we're already here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are two entire ships worth of people who've had no input on this matter.
Fine, they leave. Once they're gone, I could take us back to the mainland.
I guess
That way, they're no longer in danger.
Well, I think it's just best for us to drop it. I think neither of them are seeming like they want to do it, so let's just leave, I guess.
Never said I didn't want to, just more or less, I was just saying the fact that people here, if you remove the aspect of risk of danger, then I guess I don't really see any problem with it. I mean, technically we could do this during our during while we wait for the, for them to figure out the next key.
If
Well,
you
I
wish
mean-
to use your time doing so, then so be it.
I normally take that time to help find the keys, so, like, am I supposed to make a choice here?
I think your friend can handle finding the key. She's been finding it before you were here, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, but it speeds things up if I help.
Hmm.
Well, then that means you'll have plenty of time to break this curse.
She just rolls
Well,
her eyes. Do whatever you guys want.
I don't assume this cursing will take too long, but I mean, if it does, then
Which is true,
yes.
too. You could probably deal with the curse and then come back and help.
That'd be the only, seemed like the more best option, considering it seems that Vaven doesn't care to do this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Not to mention, we don't exactly know how to break this curse.
True.
Triggering it may not be the answer. Triggering it could just be a death sentence. I feel
True.
like it would probably also do to better understand this curse before trying to break it.
Which, during downtime we can learn it and plenty of time to learn and break it, but like I said, I think we should start heading back and, you know,
Yes,
get
I
everyone home
agree.
get everyone home safe first, and then if we wish to come back at a later date.
I agree.
All right.
Have plenty of time to learn all about it and find the perfect way to deal with it. Instead of just rushing in, half drawn, and guessing.
Is there any final business you all wish to conduct on this vessel then?
No.
No, because I'm not about to grab something and get cursed.
Okay.
It is a huge temptation, but he is having to say no.
In agreement, the party, one by one, fall back on the original plan, using Asari's water walk to get back across the lake and regroup with Bowman before exiting the mountain. Asari, assuaged by the knowledge that a chunk of the party will return at a later date to see if there's a way to free these damned souls from their greedy curse.
Does Bowman get poisoned again?
Yeah, I was gonna say I know you have a few uses of lay on hands, so I'm not gonna be that cruel. I'm willing to assume that you just treat anyone who gets poisoned on the way out.
Well, yeah. Well, Bowman's the only one left that can be
That would
poisoned.
be like incredibly vulnerable.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I got
Everyone,
immune to it for 24 hours.
yeah. Everyone else has got immune to it, and I'm just naturally immune to it. So Bowman's the only
So
one
yeah,
left.
so I guess in that case for fun, I'll just roll to see how she does.
Yeah.
We just
Uh,
incredibly here. We are shrooms. We are no longer Bowman.
yeah, we are the mushrooms. Paul, keeping a careful eye on Bowman as they make their way out. You see, to her credit, she does hold her breath, but sadly, she does begin to give a few telltale coughs at the exit of the tunnel, and you just simply pump her full of healing magic. Although she does have the good decency to look pretty sheepish as she looks to you, and thanks.
Nope. Just doing my duty.
You all make your way back out through the tunnel, across the ship graveyard. The flaming spirits of the greedy observe you as they continue to haunt this cave looking for a treasure that they can never claim. You make your way back up the mouth of the tunnel, hoist yourself up the jump you had to make to get down here. You're getting close to the exit now. And to the relief of everyone, sans of Aben, who you kind of disappointedly squint against it, you ascend back up into the sunlight.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going to go with that.
As you ascend, the party, the party you left behind, all begin to turn their attention to all of you. The first mate that you had spoken with, Paul of the Rotterdam, approaches Bowman and quickly looks her over for any potential injuries. But she holds up her hands with a smile and kind of waves him off. And I'm fine, Eric. I'm fine. She looks to her crew, who are looking at her with bated breath. We got him. They all let loose an array of cheers. But a curse still remains on this land. Touch nothing that does not belong to you until this accursed place is left behind on the horizon. We will report back to brave Britannia and inform them of our victory, and of the valiance our newfound allies showed on the battlefield. I suspect I may not have survived a confrontation with that monster alone. Klavak and your wheelchair-bound captain approach all of you separately, and Klavak just gives a smile. It's dead, then. The beast that stalked me.
Yep.
It would appear so.
Then you have my thanks. And a deal is a deal. As soon as we have put some distance between us and this island, I shall give you your key.
This sounds good to me.
Would it be too much to ask that I accompany you? I'm far from welcome in Tortage, but it would be a good port of entry to get me back to a civilized mainland.
By all means, come with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't see why not.
My thanks. The captain looks over all of you with a brilliant, beaming smile. Paul, you note this man having been your captain for this entire quest, the first time he's ever just completely unabashedly been happy.
Good on him.
I wish I could have joined you down there for a bit of old sport, but...
Yeah, it wasn't much of a sport. He went down a lot easier than I thought he would.
But I thank you all. Were it not for you, I suppose I simply would have continued indulging the drink. I miss this. Adventuring. Fighting monsters, braving curses.
Right.
Well, don't worry. We're going to be braving the curse again at a slightly later date once we get some more information on it. You're always welcome to come back with us.
I believe I shall. Although, I do find myself curious. What exactly are you hoping to achieve? None have taken the gold and survived for long.
Oh, it's not the gold we're worried about. It's the souls that are here.
Oh, my dear doctor, I'm afraid you may have woefully misunderstood the nature of this magic. These souls, they're not bound by the curse or any some such. Rather, it is their desire for the treasure that keeps them here.
I see.
Unfortunately, my lady, that is something we are woefully short on options on how to solve ourselves. That is a matter between them and their gods.
All we have to do is pack up a bit of the treasure inside that cave for them, pass it to each one of them, they'll get their treasure, and they'll pass on.
That is like a seriously bad idea.
I'm inclined to agree with Dr. Koo. Any who touch the gold with selfish intent Even, and he puts up a hand before you can interrupt him, if you intend to give it away to another. You are not fit to wield the gold by the curse's definition. None of us can.
Who is?
They say when Brother Cancer was slaughtered that night on the docks, the gods punished him for his wrath and greed. I believe I told you the story before we disembarked.
Mm-hmm.
Only one who shares his name may take the gold. His curse is that he is not allowed to die, not allowed to pass through the gates of any afterlife, until he has found a selfless namesake to bear his burden for him. Only then will the good captain pass on, presumably to wherever it is he deserves to be.
As long as someone knows his name.
Shares his name. Your
So,
name
like
must
like
be
a-
his.
like a wife or like a subordinate.
Unless your name is Alfred Gory, you
Ah.
may not touch the gold.
Ah,
Yeah, someone must have his exact same name.
There we are. The Dark Elf's got it.
no, I
Good sport,
understood.
Old Bean.
Can I roll to make a guess at the odds of that?
Roll an intelligence check.
I mean, the
And
odds
then
could
also,
be
like, being selfless and all that.
like the odds could be 100%. You just name someone that.
Yeah, no, that's
I
exactly
dub
where I'm at.
I dubbed this name.
Let's see, general intelligence?
Yeah, just for fun.
Matthew.
Yeah.
Matt?
I rolled a natural 20.
Hey! You recall that whenever Captain Thaun was sharing the story of this curse with you for the first time, there actually have already been several attempts at breaking the curse. However, as Greylog is asking the question he does of Aben, the answer comes to you through your recollection of the story. The one to break the curse on this island, or rather on the captain, must have two traits. Their name must be his, Alfred Gory. It can be a nickname. It can be a slightly modified version. For instance, Alfredo instead of Alfred. But the name must be the same. And when they take the gold, they must be completely selfless and pure of heart. So far, you recall the captain mentioned, the spirit of the captain has tried and failed to find someone with those qualities at least 12 or 13 times already. Every single time, if one quality is met, the other fails.
I see.
If the man's name is Alfred Gory, the captain freely allows them to take the treasure, encourages it even. But they get greedy. They get selfish. And he's forced to hunt them down wherever they are in the world, take his treasure back, and start all over again. The gods mutating him further as punishment for his failure.
So beating his ghost wouldn't even do anything.
Yes, he is not allowed to die completely until this curse is eliminated. And
Mechanically, does he have just resistance to everything?
I'll tell you what, natural 20, I'm feeling generous. Even if you defeat a ghost, there can be a physical thing they are bound to. The question is not one of whether you could kill his ghost or not. The question is, even if you could, he'll come back. And he'll find you. And even if you beat him then, he'll come back stronger and find you again. Again and again and again. Until his curse is lifted.
Or you die.
Yeah, or you die and he still has to work on solving it himself, but you're dead, so.
Basically, it's a good thing we convinced them not to do that.
Yes.
Given he would have been after them, technically speaking.
He would have been after her. Greylog washed his hands of anything that was going to happen.
However,
Would Greylog be heartless enough to just let it kill? Sorry.
Yeah,
No.
like somebody who's he's supposed to love? Really? Really?
I-
Feeling a little
I-
betrayed there.
Didn't say he was going to let her die. Just saying that it wouldn't have been his fault.
but sorry, real quick, Avaven, do you share what you recall from the captain's story?
Sure.
Avaben, you recall offhandedly what Captain Thown had told you, and you see the captain actually seems kind of touched that you even remember.
Oh, so wait, I have a way to explain how he would know the ghost information.
Go for
He
it.
probably maybe read it in that book. That book he bought.
You know what? Legitimate. I know we don't do it this way, and I don't think you've even spent yours anyway, but, like, that is inspiration
I
worthy.
don't have inspiration right now.
Well, yeah, you're going to get it soon anyway, so for fun, point of inspiration for that. Because that was a good catch. So yeah, Avaben shares this information with all of you, and while sorry you are assuaged by the mention that the ghosts of this island are not bound by the curse, they are simply bound by their own bottomless greed. It is unfortunately likely not within your capabilities to lift this curse unless you went to the trouble of finding somebody who is completely selfless and pure of heart, rename them officially to Alfred Gory or some variant of it, send them to this island, have them take all the treasure away from the captain, and not let that insane amount of wealth go to their heads at any point. But yes, then the curse would be lifted.
He also said that he could be nicknamed to be Alfred Gory. Right? He said nicknames are allowed?
No, like, essentially you can be named a variant of it, but it has to be basically it has to be your given name. It doesn't have to be the one you were born with, but it does have to be the one that you, like, use in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And, go ahead, Avaven, sorry. Thought you were about to ask a question, so.
Yeah. My question is, how would you get all the treasure off the island? Like, there's so much, you couldn't even fit it all on one ship.
Very true. But from Avaben's recollections of the stories, the captain just lets you take, and even helps you take as much as you want if he thinks you can lift the curse. It's just that, unfortunately, most people can't. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I just thought.
Go ahead.
I just remember what I was going to ask.
Please,
I was going to ask, well, what if, like, at first, like, when they first do it, they were completely without greed, but then, like, years later, after the curse is considered broken, they get greedy?
The curse wouldn't have been broken by that point. They need to either spend all of it with completely pure intent, or live out their entire lives and die without getting greedy, and then the captain is allowed to pass into the afterlife, and the curse is broken.
Dang.
So they could, like, so, like, they couldn't spend it on, like, anything for themselves. They'd have to, like, donate all of it.
You'd either have to donate all of it, or if you do spend it on yourself, it's like the bare necessities. Like, you're still living a very humble, down-to-earth life, despite being an effective billionaire.
Basically, you know, the ghost has to wait until you basically die.
I wonder what would happen if, like, if, like, a nearby kingdom just sent an army to take the gold. Would he chase down every single soldier in that army?
Yes. At least enough to reclaim his gold.
Wow.
Yeah, he's done it before. He only set up shop on this island just because he needed a place to put all of it. But yeah, no, if someone that he lets take it, or someone who kills the ghost and takes it before he can regenerate, he'll just follow you wherever you go, kill you, and take it.
Interesting.
And remember, every time he fails, he gets bigger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you beat him once or twice, do you really think you can do that forever?
Wow. So, like, if If an entire army just took it, he would become so powerful that he could destroy an entire military.
Pretty much.
And this is probably why no one has tried to take it, like through mass means.
Yep.
Because
Even
it would just make him so powerful.
even Bowman mentioned that they had no intention of fucking with it. It is his curse to bear and his problem. Bear in mind.
If like another like immortal took it, like if a
I
god stole the
get it.
gold.
Okay, I understand.
I mean, I wasn't scolding you. I was just answering the questions I was being asked.
Do
Okay.
they have to take all of the gold?
They have
Or
to
is it
at
just
least spend. They have to either spend all of it or go their entire lives before just expiring. So to answer your question, if an immortal took it, they would just have to eventually spend all of it. But again, in the most humble and down to earth way possible. No selfish intention.
No, I mean like if they took it like selfishly, like how could he kill them?
Well, bear in mind, immortal does not make you invulnerable.
That you live forever, but doesn't mean you still can't be wounded.
And
Well,
there are
age.
very, very few creatures that can't be completely destroyed in some way or another. And even if there was, bear in mind, even something like, say, a Lich or even the Tarask, they go down just for a little bit before coming back. But in that time, he could just get rid of you and take his gold. Effectively do what people already do to him. But for what it's worth, from the stories you've heard, this guy was a right bastard anyway.
Yeah. From what I understand the saying, I think there's like only one thing that can kill a god.
There are things that can kill them, but again, it just comes down to, as Paul said, like, immortal doesn't make you invulnerable, and even things that are in technicality invulnerable have weaknesses. There are very few things on this plane of existence that are completely above any form of physical harm.
Interesting. Alright, we can continue.
I would imagine you guys just kind of sitting and like bandying the details of the curse as Avaven shares the story.
And then the idea of killing a god. How would one even go about doing that?
Very carefully, I would imagine.
You
Like,
can
if
see,
you kill a god, do you get their powers, or does it just disappear?
depends on the exact nature of the deity, old sport. Some pass on what they have, others simply take it with them to the other side and leave a bloody mess in their wake.
Probably best not to be doing that or even talking about it.
Especially not with what you're carrying, old beans.
We've already pissed them off.
Not my first
well-
time.
What more can they do to us, really?
I'm already endangered my eternal afterlife. So it's like, what's a few words about death and destruction to immortals?
Him and Clavok both give kind of thoughtful nods before Clavok gives a smile and, well, I don't know all about you, but I'm about ready to leave this God's forsaken place.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Captain Brand, are my crew and I free to go? Have we pleased Her Royal Highness enough?
I love him.
She kind of quirks a brow at the man before giving a smirk and... We may have damaged your mast, but we didn't destroy it completely. You're free to go, and I will keep my word. Any friends and family you have back home will hear of your deeds, and I will put in a good word for you with the Admiralty.
Oh
At
my
the very
God,
least, I can ensure that your ship is not targeted by other pirate hunters.
my mom is going to freak out.
She gives a small half smile, and you can see, Paul, you notice she kind of pulls the first mate, Eric, into a half hug before. I think it's about time we made our leave as well. At this, you can actually see Captain Thown kind of quirk a brow and, didn't expect you to keep your word. Excuse me? On the treasure, I mean. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I was here to enact justice. Justice has been enacted. My work here is done.
Oh,
The good captain can take his treasure into the limbo where it belongs.
Yeah, it's not that good anyways. Do I see the halfling around anywhere?
Roll perception.
also Matthew.
What's up?
Does the baby remember seeing like her reaction whenever she saw him using one of the keys as a weapon?
As in, do you remember seeing her make any, particular expression?
No, I remember she did something.
Oh,
She
well-
saw it and it changed what she was doing.
Oh, I see. Yeah, basically, you don't know how much she knows, but she basically put together that Sanguis was after the key, so put herself between you and him. Whether that was to protect you or simply to prevent Sanguis from achieving his objective, you're not sure.
I was gonna ask. By the way, what exactly was that whenever you saw the weapon I was using?
That pistol?
Yeah, you seemed to see it and completely change your behavior in that fight.
I'm not after it, if that's what you're worried about. I don't know what exactly it is that man was talking about. Some sort of treasure hunt that you're competing with him on? But whatever
Something
it
like
is, I don't need to know. Frankly, I don't think I need to, or should. But she kind of licks her lips and puts her hands to her hips, seeming actually kind of awkward. And whatever attachment that creature had to what you carry, I know people like him. I could see it in its eyes. He was going to kill you to take it. And, well, you kept your end of the bargain. It would not be my place to simply allow you to die, even if it would have granted me an advantage. In truth, I probably could have let him just go right past me to get to you, but that's not the Britannian way.
Oh, she likes us. It's so nice.
Nothing so base. I have a code of honor to upkeep, nothing more.
You can't fool me.
If only all of your people had that kind of honor.
Sorry, squints her eyes.
I didn't say anyone in particular.
Oh, it
Bo-
was very much, implied.
Bowman
If
kind
that
of
is how you wish to see it, then I unfortunately cannot stop you.
rolls her eyes, and you can see she had initially kind of pulled her face into a kind of tight expression, but she loosens up and grins a bit as you two start bickering and raises a hand to interrupt you. I take no offense. My code is one of law and order. I serve Queen and country because they, I found, often do the best job of upholding it. Unfortunately, and she kind of shuffles from side to side, I may be forced to reconsider that. Perhaps I should follow in the footsteps of my mentor. Go independent.
Who exactly was your mentor?
Her expression kind of beams proudly and she puffs out her chest. Saul, the pirate hunter.
Does
A
that
brave and noble
name-
man.
Does that
the
name
Raven
ring a bell?
recognize that name?
Both of you roll history.
Okay. Sitting here playing Minecraft, listening. Let's see, history. I'm making an underground base.
Well, Raven don't know nothing. I rolled a 4.
The name rings a bell, but you can't put your finger on it.
Mm. Mm.
Need me to roll for you?
No.
Raven just thinks so. I wonder if he was.
I got a natural 3, so that was nice. So 8, 9, 10, so 11.
All right. And Avaven, what were you saying?
wonder if he has anything to do with the guy that I heard some people chatting about on the docks one time, saying that the pirates were apparently really worried about him.
And they had
Yeah.
good reason to be. And sorry, the name again rings a bell. Can't quite put your finger on it.
Did
They
he
had
have
good
anything to do with that guy?
Sorry, just so I, the DM, can hear you better. What'd you say, Vibin?
They said, because Aben doesn't know that that's
Yeah.
Saul, so he's like, did they happen to know each other?
She kind of gives a shrug of the shoulders and. Unfortunately, he kept me somewhat in the dark on his personal life, but he was a brave and noble man to the end.
God, I know out of character that was bullshit.
Hey, she just said she knows next to nothing about his private life.
But Aben doesn't barely even knows who the fuck she's talking about.
It was an honor to sail under him. I have learned to embrace his methodologies, his teachings, and perhaps this is just yet another lesson. It doesn't matter what flag you fly, as long as it's not the black flag.
Yeah,
Guess that's as
about
good a code
that.
as anything. What are you about to say?
Me?
Yeah, because you went about that.
Oh, yeah, because she said as long as we're not flying the black flag, we kind of do that.
Why would you say that?
Well, yeah,
Well,
because
I mean,
she
she,
sees
it's not like
that.
it's a secret.
She already
yeah,
knows about it.
yeah, she already
It's not like
knows.
it's a secret
You guys
to
just
you.
convinced her that you're passengers instead of actual pirates.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you maybe, like, in our situation, don't
Eh,
assume.
yes, I know. Your friend already told me, and she gestures to Avaben, although she has like an affectionate grin. I will offer a chance at surrender.
I like that idea, actually.
And not after the first folly.
She rubs the back of her head, but gives a nod. Quite.
And maybe just for good measure, maybe instead of trying to find a ship just sailing around, maybe focus on the ones who are actually giving people trouble.
Suppose you're right. Although, unfortunately, I would say they're even harder to catch these days. Bunch of independents and rogues. But
What was that you were just saying that you wanted to become an independent captain yourself?
that's different. A merchant can be as independent as they like. They are good, respectable people who obey the law.
What
But
he's
you're
trying
not
to allude
going
to is that
be a merchant. You're an
no, no, no.
assassin of a kind.
I think what he's trying to say is, you could always do it on your own tenant instead of the crown's.
That's something I've
Live by
given
your
thought
own
to.
code.
I will give them naval aid, fulfill my end of the Admiralty. Once my service has ended, perhaps it is time I retire. But she gives you all a mischievous smirk and a wink when she says that. You get the impression that as far as Britannia will know, she's going to retire.
I do want to ask you
Yeah.
a thought
Please.
experiment.
By all
If
means.
Britannia did something, an action, that went against your code, would you go against your home or your code?
You know, if you had asked me that not a day ago, I would have said I would learn from my mistakes and follow the crown until my death. But now, after what you've all shown me, I mean, I never would have believed it. A dark elf from the Sherwood and a Britannian archaeologist working together, defending one another in battle. It's given me pause for thought.
Don't get me wrong, he's still insufferable. But yeah, I mean, we work together.
So, to ask me now, my honest answer is... my code comes first. Although I do not betray the crown lightly. It would be with a heavy heart that I would stand between them and the good people of this world. The people that, perhaps, we have neglected to defend before now.
I quite like that answer.
Very informative.
Oh, and by the way, it was a 26 on perception for the halfling.
You manage to just make out a scurrying dark shape sneaking past all eyes that are on you
Of
and
course.
darting down into the cave.
Oh, God.
Well, it won't be a problem much longer.
Sorry, Liv? You're muttering again.
Yeah, Ivan, you don't have that much of an attachment to that halfling friend of yours, do you?
Is he doing what I think he's doing?
Yep.
Can I even use his tracking skills to find his halfling friend?
Roll survival.
Okay, survival. Plus 12 to survival.
Yeah, the tracking.
I got a 17.
You approach the mouth of the cave, and while you can definitely make out that Greylog is telling the truth, you can see some telltale prints lightly left in the dirt. You lose their trail in the cave, and you're not sure exactly how deep they're going or what they're looking for.
It must be real sneaky.
Can I roll to re-find the trail?
Not to re-find it, however, if you wish, you can go back into the cave and just see if you can find them.
To go into the cave and see if I can find a trail from there.
Roll perception.
Yeah, just find them.
Does he just, like, fucking, like, get up and leave?
Yeah.
Well, Greylog did point out, like, Greylog and Vaven had talked about it, then yeah, Vaven's, like, looking for a trail and heading back down into the dark.
But
I guess I'll
essentially,
go with
He's
him.
gotta help his friend out.
Yeah, I guess I'll go.
Yeah, we're all just gonna go help him
Perception, I got
we
a
do buy
22.
stuff from him.
Alright. Vaven, the party quickly takes up the trail behind you as you make your way back down to the darkness. Bowman kind of watches a bit confused, but just gives a shrug and continues to ready their troop to.
So Vaven
re-embark.
did ask this character's name, right?
Yes.
What was his name?
Roll history.
Come on! I out of character don't know what a Vaven would.
Like, I get to hear it now. Hey, halfling man, where are you?
Can I preemptively use my inspiration?
Sure.
preemptively.
Okay, 17.
You recall that their name is Mark Mouse.
Mark Mouse. God damn it, Matthew.
Right, I'm telling you, man.
Right.
Like, you have a phone. Write shit down.
Yeah, phone or computer. Nope.
But then I'll forget to grab the note. I literally do it all the time. I have notes that I like forget about until I'm just looking through to write like a grocery list, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh yeah, I remember writing this note ages ago.
This is good practice.
But yes, you remember their name is Mark.
All right, does he see them?
Yes, as you and the party quickly pick up while you don't have a trail, there's only so many directions they could go. As you make your way back in, you see they are currently scuttling across the gangplank of the ship graveyard, seeming like they're in a big hurry. However, you do notice they're not picking anything up yet.
Fabian is just like, Mark, you don't want us to take any of this treasure.
You can see their tail stiffens and they kind of hunch their back before turning with a kind of like wincing expression. Saw me, did you?
Well, Greylock did,
Yeah.
but I found you from there.
Suppose I'm getting out of touch. Relax. I know all about this curse. I'm not about to take anything that's going to get me into trouble. Just a few things that all of you missed, that's all.
Can I follow him? I'm curious what he's taking.
Yeah, maybe not this time.
And Greylog, as you step forward, they hold up a hand and give you a wink. You got first dibs already. You want it? Buy it.
I
Eh,
love
Didn't
that.
realize
That's
that
just
any
not
greedy intent could bring this curse down upon you.
It's not my first time tangling with curses. Besides, I know this captain's treasure hoard like the back of my hand. There's plenty down here that doesn't count.
Well, how are we supposed to know that?
They give a bit of a shrug, and in this line of work, sometimes you have to take risks. Now, speaking of, I need to make sure I grab everything before you all leave me behind.
You know what? I make you a business deal. If you can point out the stuff that isn't cursed that you can take safely, I will help you transport it faster, where you can get more of it at once.
I doubt you can offer me anything I don't already have, love.
I
Instant
think he can
transportation.
teleport things instantly.
They quirk a brow. Greylog, roll persuasion at disadvantage.
Come on, if even help.
Roll persuasion flat.
Okay, that's not bad. 24.
You can see they initially aren't swayed by your argument, but they glance to Avaben, who seems rather insistent himself, before finally... Fine. But 1,000 gold. Right here, right now.
Let me see. Check my
Do you even have
inventory.
1,000 gold, love? Do you need my help?
Oh, I'm having to check my inventory. It's taking a little bit to load.
Well,
I'm fairly sure I have it.
I was like, I'm pretty sure people have money because
Yeah,
nice.
if he doesn't have it, I'll take
Like,
care of it.
yeah, like
Okay,
nice.
yeah,
well,
I got it.
Yeah, well, I realized Fred, you did use a lot of the money for your business.
Yeah, but
It's
he
just
still has some money. So yes, he'll pay me 1,000 gold.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, really? That's much for me?
This is the price of 2 things, and I'm about to get potentially 10s. I love you, love, but not that much.
Understandable.
Now, and they hold out a paw, the gold.
I pass him 1,000.
They whisk it away into their pocket and give a friendly grin. All right, but I hope you guys have triggered all the booby traps already because I'm not helping you. Keep up! And with that, they start running ahead with halfling speed, hopping and jumping over the ship, seeming like they're still in a hurry, like they half expect you're going to turn around and try and leave them behind.
But yeah, I
And
follow.
I'm gonna message you something real quick, Matthew.
By all means.
And yes, we did, trigger all the booby traps.
Yeah, that sounds like you guys.
Well, there's still one thing left to be considered.
What's that?
Some areas you may need to hold your breath. There are some shrooms that seem like they like to get in your lungs.
Ah, parasite shrooms. Found those growing in Levant. Nice, dark, and damp. Suppose it makes sense they would take root here.
But
Oh my god, I said it to the wrong person, Austin. Don't fucking look at that. Don't fucking look at it.
I think you can delete it. Otherwise,
Hey,
it'd be hard not to look at it.
Oh no, I sexted the wrong person.
Oh god, that nightmare is specifically why I don't do that shit.
Oh,
I
trust me, I've
mean-
done it. I've done that on accident. It was a
Not
very
fun?
awkward conversation with my mom.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
No, that'd be the best conversation. What are you talking
You're
about?
That's literally
the
my worst
worst
nightmare
person to have a
happening right in front of
conversation
me.
about with that. Oh my
Right in front
god.
of me. Can't you delete it though?
I did.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you can. Just in case, I'll look.
Fucking creeper
Hey.
in my way. I'm trying to build a staircase.
Yeah, you deleted it. Okay. You're good. I didn't see what it is.
Mark leads you all back through the caves, getting a good distance ahead of all of you. Like they still eagerly want first dibs on all the treasure.
Sure, makes sense. Most expensive ones.
Eventually, as you guys make it through the parasite tunnel, I won't make you guys roll. You see that they have already swam their way across the lake and are hiking their way up the side of the ship and sliding over the railing.
Assuming everything in the ship is good, because it's technically not ghost.
Greylog and Asari, since you already know how to deal with the booby traps, I'll assume you're going, but Paul and Avaben, are you going to keep pace as well and brave the potential booby traps to see exactly what Mark is taking?
I guess we'll keep. We'll.
Yeah,
Vaben will keep pace.
Yeah, and I'll point out the traps to them so they're well aware that they're there.
Okay.
I'll merely be there as healing support.
All right. You all quickly make your way back across the lake, up the side. By the time you catch up with Mark, you see they are ascending out of the secret treasure room that the sarcophagus had been found in. A ornate, kind of brilliant crimson red bag slung over their shoulder. Been a while since I've seen something from that place. This is gonna sell for a lot. Surprised you guys didn't take it.
I didn't even see the bag in there.
Oh, this? No. This is my personal accoutrement, honey. No, what I'm talking about is this little number. And they pull from the bag, not fully, just enough for you all to see it, the sarcophagus.
Well, you know, it's a whole sarcophagus. Usually people don't take it.
Didn't you see that arcane writing? This thing's magic. Not useful in any way, but the people of Torridge don't need to know that.
What does it do?
Well, it's a create water spell, and what was the other one?
Greater wound.
Greater healing.
Yeah, greater
I think?
restoration.
Greater healing wound or something. I don't know.
No, it was greater restoration.
Actually, Austin is right.
Oh, it wasn't. I was like, no, that was weird.
Don't doubt Austin's knowledge of the game.
Well, it's like, well,
there's a reason I love having Austin at my tables.
yeah, I was like, cause I knew it was weird. I was like, is that actually a spell?
Not in 5th edition normally. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, I was like, I'll say it. Different.
And in response to you, Avaben, they give a wink and a blow you a small kiss before stuffing the sarcophagus back into the bag. Your friend is half right. Healing magic and a little bit of creative use of what could be considered water. It's meant for Nosferatu. Feeds them without them having to drain anyone. I'm going to sell it to those triplet friends of yours.
They don't need that anymore.
What?
Yeah.
I cured them.
You are just trying to deny me profit at every turn, you are. You should be lucky I like all of you. Well, I'm sure I'll find some unfortunate buyer.
What about all those staffs in the corner? Are these fair game?
Yep. And they promptly start scooping them out with their cane and trying to stuff as many of them into their bag as they can before you approach.
I want to try to beat him to it and grab as many and put it into my bag of holding as I can.
Investigation contest.
There's like a investigation contest?
Guys, enroll investigation, and whoever gets higher gets better.
Oh, I thought I was like, that's a thing?
Yeah,
Or
it's normally
what?
just like grapple contest, but this is a unique situation.
Yeah, you can make anything a contest, a strength contest. Yeah.
So that was a
It's a
natural
charisma
20.
contest.
I figured.
The most prettiest. Who could make the best poses? Pooh!
Pooh!
Everybody knows it's me.
God, I
You
just imagine that scene with General Armstrong and that other really strong dude.
Yes! Scene! It's like one of my favorite scenes.
All right, so Greylog, just so I'm clear on what you're doing, so you're just going to run past them and start taking as many of the things as you can, correct?
As far as I'm aware, far as the staffs go, yes.
Okay. Roll Constitution. Constitution save specifically.
Constitution?
Yep, Constitution
Yeah,
save.
make a con save.
Okay.
And I need to start grabbing dice.
Oh,
Ruh-roh.
Some of those items are not safe.
one of the items wasn't safe.
They Mark said these were safe from the curse, not that they weren't booby trapped.
Yeah, or that.
So 18.
All right, that is just barely a success. You'll take half damage.
Oh. Does everybody take damage?
No, only
Not
once he
yet.
grabbed it. It's like so far, only ones that grabbed it, which is him. I'm assuming.
I don't like that sound, Matthew.
There was a lot of dice.
That was a lot of fucking dice.
Greylog, you grab, you elbow past them and you start rifling through the pile you and Asari trashed. And you grab a silver staff from the lot. And Avaben, you can see Mark go to interrupt before pausing and just grinning and leaning back. And Greylog, you pull the staff free, and you notice, all of you notice, it smells nice in here now, like flowers.
Oh.
Greylog, you start to. It's like that feeling of being in a locker room full of guys spraying Axe, and you take 14 poison damage.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
Oh no! Booby traps. Who could have predicted?
Oh my god.
Mind letting me take over?
Is that when you have a rogue in your party?
Are you gonna share without
Yeah.
charging?
No.
Hey, that's what the 1,000 gold is for, and me helping you get back quicker.
They kind of roll their eyes before. Fine. They shake the bag over their shoulder. I got enough of a haul to profit off of this trip anyway. Anything on the ship is free game, except for the coins. Leave the coins.
The coins are part of the main treasure.
Yep.
So if
what
you
about-
grab those coins, bad things will happen.
That's the idea. Everything else
And-
was the former occupants.
What about the items outside of the ship? Are those part of the treasure hoard?
Far as I can tell, of course you could always find out for yourself, but I'm not willing to take that chance myself.
Okay, touche.
How would you happen to have so much knowledge of what is and isn't part of this treasure?
Someone like me? It pays to do your research. All of you do your research on, what shiny thing is it we're after, and who do we have to kill to get it? Me? I prefer to take it from the angle of, how can I profit off of this? What's out there that I can take? And whose pockets are a bit too dangerous to pick?
Touche.
Thanks for
Let me
not getting
get-
the ship sunk out back there, by the way. I was not thrilled whenever the cannonballs started flying.
Oh, I know. I saw you then too.
Oh, well, aren't you just a sore eyes at for sights?
No, I just knew you'd be there. You're always following us.
Yeah, I just assume you're always there.
What can I say? I've grown to like all of you. And they give you a bow with their top hat.
He's like a strangely guardian angel, I guess.
I prefer to think of myself as a guardian thief.
Ugh.
I'm going to
But
start packing up all the items that he can.
roll a wisdom save. And this one goes for everyone.
Oh,
Oh God. He done did it again.
Let's see. Also,
what am I doing?
everyone will get a +3 to their wisdom save.
Nice wisdom save on D&D Beyond.
Oh no.
I rolled a natural 5, so
Where did
how
my
much?
dice go? There it
How much
is.
do I get, Austin?
Well, I give you a +3 as long as you're close to me. As long as you're within 10 feet of me, you get a +3.
All right, that makes it a 14 for me.
Okay, 14 from you. Paul?
17.
Greylog?
Doing some mental math. So 15 plus a 3, that's 18 plus 8, 26.
Okay, Avaven?
8.
Okay.
This
Greylog?
dice is going to dice jail.
Yeah, put that dice in jail. Greylog, you remember how I mentioned that there was one of the stats was candy cane colored?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I would love that.
You reach for that one, and Mark immediately winces and just starts running out of the room.
Oh no.
And as you pull it free and hoist it over your head, this insane instant flash of color hits all of you. Paul and Greylog, you were able to shut your eyes, and while you have a pounding headache,
No.
there is no greater effect than that.
Oh no. I've been sensitive to light.
Oh no. I rolled really bad. I'm crying, Matthew.
You both take 26 psychic damage, and as your pounding headache splits through your skull, you both look around and realize you've gone completely colorblind. Everything is just black and white now.
I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it.
Feel about what?
Everything is colorless.
Is Raven's eyes still burning from the flash of light?
Yes, and you have a splitting headache, but yes, when you eventually open your eyes, you will notice you too have gone completely colorblind.
Okay, why don't y'all wait outside while I pack up the rest of the stuff, so if I touch something, it only affects me.
Fine.
Yes.
I can't see
I'm
color.
leaving.
Well, before y'all leave, I'll probably stay, I guess, to make sure you don't get yourself killed or worse.
Well, my wildfire spirit is technically still with me. If I go down, it revives me to half health.
I think that's been gone for a while.
Oh no, it was never destroyed, and if it's not destroyed, it stays with you.
That was just
It's not time limited.
Although, with that in mind, you will need to roll a wisdom save on behalf of it as well, unless it is immune to such things.
Let me check. Let's see, wildfire spirit. Oh, and it does manifest for 1 hour, but I don't think it's been an hour yet.
It's getting admittedly close. Let's see how it does on this roll first. If it's not immune to psychic damage, roll a whiz save on behalf of your little friend.
Yeah, it is not immune.
Also?
I was gonna say, also, when a Raven steps outside, he's gonna look to Mark. How long does this last?
Well,
they give a wince and, seeming legitimately sympathetic, wave a paw for you to kneel down so they can look at you. Oh, shit. That's not good.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Definitely not.
You're gonna need to get your friend in the suit to look at this. It's not gonna go away on its own. Your retina's got badly burned.
Oh, shit.
And that's a dirty 20, by the way.
All right, that's a success. They're good. My guess, you'd need greater restoration at least to fix this.
Ooh, I think I have that.
You're in the room. They're in the hall right now.
Well, I mean, Paul will be staying with Vaven. He was gonna look at the
so-
party. Not Vaven, Greylock, but
Greylog, you gonna keep pulling?
Once they're all safely away.
Okay.
well, all but one.
Roll a con save. Roll a strength.
Sorry.
Roll a dexterity save.
Don't
roll
worry.
wisdom.
No more saves. The rest of these just do automatic damage.
Yeah.
Hi. I will say sorry it's not leaving.
Is he
Okay,
actually
so-
gonna kill himself?
Let's find out.
Paul.
I'll ask him
here.
between pulls if he wants to stop. Sorry, one more time.
Oh, I was just saying that she's not leaving.
Okay. So Vaven and Mark are in the hall. Everyone else is in the room. And Paul,
What?
you sounded like you were trying to say something.
I said, don't worry, I'll heal him.
Okay. Greylog, you grab the steel staff and you notice too late a wire that gets snapped as you pull it free.
I guess the next thing I'm going to do is check for traps on these things before I pick them up.
But before then, you take 20 lightning damage as you pull the steel staff free.
Is it electric?
Yeah, basically, either Sanguis or the captain rigged up a primitive shock trap to it. And it's steel, so it conducts it.
Ooh, shocking.
So roll investigation to see if you can find more traps.
Like how Matthew at no point was even like, "Are
16.
you sure you don't want to check for traps?"
No? Yeah, he wouldn't
He's
do
just
that.
like, "Nah." He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna let him make his mistake."
Yeah, he wouldn't say, "Are you sure you wouldn't make traps?" The very max he'll do is like, "Are you sure?" He wouldn't mention traps at all.
Matthew's just like, "Nah, I'll let you learn this lesson."
Greylog, investigation.
Oh, 16.
Okay. You notice that the staff that is made of wood also has a wire tethered to it, and you follow its trail under the pile across, like kind of snaking along the corners of the walls very sneakily. It's like a little sewing thread. And you notice that what you had initially thought were probably just cannon gun ports are shut from the inside. Likely, if you pull on that, something, perhaps like those musket traps you encountered earlier, would come out and shoot the person who grabbed it.
Can I cut the wire?
Absolutely, you may.
That way it can't be pulled.
You cut the wire.
Unless there was the
And-
tension keeping it shut.
There's a tense moment, but nothing happens, and you grab the wooden staff. The next one is the one that I mentioned appears to be a golden color. Do you wish to grab that?
Is there a trap?
Not that you see.
He will like touch it with his like index finger, and if nothing like horrible happens, he'll try picking it up.
Okay. You pick up the solid gold staff and sort it into your inventory. So just a second before we continue, I need to grab my phone for this one.
Oh.
All right, don't mind me. Okay, so next one is the wooden one with sapphires and the green one. Which one do you want to grab next?
Sapphires.
Okay. You pull on the wooden and sapphire staff.
Also, fitting gift.
Nothing happens.
Okay. He puts it away in his bag. Yeah, pretty much he's taking everything he can other than the coins and you know what was warned not to take.
Speaking of the coins, as you kind of glance at them, reminding yourself not to touch them, you notice there's a lot more of them than you remember there being.
Yeah, probably ghosties. He's going to ignore the coins. He's not falling for that.
As you're making that commitment to yourself, the coins double, as if through mitosis.
Joseph.
Yeah, I'm not that greedy. I got these
Double
staffs.
again.
I'm good.
Flood the room.
They double again.
He's
They
going to
double
be
again.
quicker about getting the staffs before this room gets filled with them.
You grab the green staff and chink, 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 chink. You see 3 large bottles of a red liquid scatter out of it. They had been stored in a secret compartment that was opened accidentally when you pulled it free and disrupted its placement.
Can I get the liquid vials?
Of course you may. There is now quite a bit of gold in this room.
Is
What do
this
you wish
like
to do
that
now?
thing from that one movie?
Sort of, except, I mean, it basically, yes, except it's not that it burns you, it's just, yes, you are in a very small, enclosed space.
You know
He's
what I was
still
talking about, right?
Yeah.
Harry Potter with the spells for thieves.
Oh,
in the
I didn't know it burned them. I thought it just filled
Yeah,
them.
it burns them to the touch.
Yeah, if it's not the owner, it burns them.
And then it like
But-
multiplies.
Yeah.
Yes. Like if you touch it, it multiplies.
The room
But
is
he's
full
going
of gold about up to you guys' ankles now.
Yeah, he's ignoring the gold still.
Hey, don't you think
finishing up with staffs?
you know that it's probably multiplying as many as you take? So the more you take, the more it's going to multiply.
No, it's multiplying to try to get me to try to take some of it. It's to build up greed.
More annoying than, anything.
Clink, 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 clink. Up to the shins now.
So why don't
Yeah, it's
y'all
gonna
wait at the door?
increase
I will
exponentially.
be there quick.
One more time, Greylag.
Oh, he was saying, why don't y'all wait at the door? That way, when I'm done packing up, we can leave quick before this place is overly full.
Paul, sorry.
I mean,
You'll still be able to see me.
that's not the issue. The issue is I worry about your well-being.
Clink, 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 clink. Up to the knees.
He's still grabbing stuff at this point while he's talking. Like he hasn't stopped.
And Greylog, Paul, and Asari, where do you keep your personal wealth?
My personal wealth, probably in a little purse.
Paul?
I mean, probably just a pouch that he has, or anything he can fit it, the money.
Greylog?
He keeps it in a in a money sack that's in his backpack.
All right. Greylog, you notice your backpack is getting heavy, and Paul and Asari, all you hear is just the tearing of fabric, and your wealth scatters into the pile, having been doubling in your coin purses.
Oh, shit.
Well,
So that's just not fair.
It's not part of the curse. But what's?
Are you sure? It's a big
Well,
pile of coins. Can you tell yours apart?
Well, what's in my backpack? Yeah, you can tell.
Well, yours, but referring to Asari and Paul.
No.
I'll reimburse you.
And if Vaven and Mark hear what's going on in there?
Eventually, you start to hear the light creaking of wood and the kind of tinking of coins. And Mark kind of bites at his lip, and he just grabbed the gold one.
Oh, it's the staff that does it.
I understand why you went to work alone.
Yeah. We need to get them out of there before they drown.
That would be a very fitting fate for that little guy.
How many staffs are left?
Is the
You
Greylock
got all.
kind of little?
He's on the short side, and Grail, you got all of them. The green one was the last one.
Okay, then like other than the coins, what else of values left that was safe to take?
The art pieces, the statues, and the journals.
He'll grab some of the journals, the art,
Yeah.
and the statues, and then he's getting out of there.
All right, so you're just basically grabbing what you can.
Yeah, he's just gonna grab like 5 of the statuettes and leave.
Can you carry all of that? Statuettes aren't light.
I will help him.
Mm.
I will help him.
Okay.
And the two of you carry all them because
I'll
they're
say between the two
How
of you.
much?
Sure.
Like how much do they weigh?
An individual one I'd say is anywhere from like 50 to 100 pounds.
Because
Oh,
the bag of holding does
that
like
kind
500.
of statuettes.
Yeah, like
I was
busts
thinking,
and-
yeah, I was thinking smaller, like
yeah, like little handheld ones. No, this is like
yeah,
busts.
they can stay.
He's not feeling very busty today.
No,
So you just gonna take the staffs and go?
yeah, just the staffs. Well, are there any fancy art pieces,
Several.
like paintings?
Several.
Do you realize how hard it is to carry a painting, right?
It's
Small,
extremely
a small one. Like, are there any small ones?
You do see there is a buried beneath the gold at this point is a small portrait of what appears to be a young elvish girl.
What's she look like?
White hair, kind of trailing down her back, brilliant blue eyes, scar over one of them.
This is
He'll
interesting.
take the small painting, make sure there's no coins hidden in it. Yeah, like that got caught up in the canvas or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting out of there.
All right. Paul, sorry, anything from you?
No, I'm just helping Greg.
All right, Asari helping Greylog lift the portrait free. You all have to like step and swim over wealth at this point. Shake a few coins loose from the canvas. Paul, at this point, the money's up to your waist, and your personal wealth, as well as Asari's, is hopelessly lost in the pile.
Yeah.
They just lost their entire inventory?
No.
Of gold, at
Yeah.
least.
they lost we lost about, let's see, how much did we lose?
Here, I'll check.
A
And
lot.
I haven't taken out anything yet because you know.
No, yeah, well, we'll deal with it once you guys like are actually having dealt with it. But from the looks of it, unless this gets sorted, you guys are about to lose about 720 platinum and over 2,000 gold.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That really fucking sucks.
Well,
Wait.
Oh.
Is the treasure gold coins or is it also platinum coins?
It's various coins.
Damn.
yeah.
Well,
I thought it was
don't
like, oh
worry.
wait, if it's all gold coins, then they can at least get their platinum back.
That is clever, but sadly, no.
All my money feels like is multiplying in my backpack. Which is getting heavier, and I can reimburse you guys. It's fine.
All right. If there's no objections, Avaben, as Mark continues to examine you and kind of listens worriedly at the door, eventually the door is thrown open, and you see Paul, as well as Asari and Greylog carrying a portrait of an elvish girl, slide into the hall on a fucking tidal wave of money before Paul and Greylog manage to force the door shut against the ever-increasing tide of coins.
Oh, that was fun. Let's get out of here.
Satisfied?
Yes.
I was about to ask the same thing. Are you truly satisfied with yourself?
I mean,
Damn.
did you see this beautiful painting? I love elvish girls.
You love any girls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any further business while you guys are on the ship?
Is there
No, I'm
anything
good.
on the top part of the deck
Not
before
that
we head
Mark
out?
indicated they were willing to
The
touch.
second he was told that there was stuff that was safe to grab, he's now grabbing freaking everything.
Well,
Oh yeah, no, and that's gonna come up. Don't worry.
Yeah, like the whole reason it's been holding him back was the curse. I mean,
Hey, he was trying to be good. He was good for so long, and this isn't part of the cursed treasure. So
Well, it's not about whether it's part of the cursed treasure or not. It's like the fact that you're putting yourself in danger just for money that you don't need.
Not just himself. He's putting Asari in danger and Paul
Yeah,
in
Vaven and
danger.
Well,
Asari have been crippled
Yes,
by
Raven
your
and
greed.
Asari have been
which
literally
I
permanently
will.
injured by.
Well, we don't know permanently, but I will look at them, see what can be done.
Yeah,
and
and
Spell that
he
Mark
did
said would
tell
have
them
to be
that they
cast.
could leave.
He said that we might need greater restoration, might be, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Raven's gonna say to Paul, "Do you know Greater Restoration?"
I
well,
do.
I would like to see the eyes at least first, but no, I don't. I'm not capable of such magic.
Well, I think Greg just said that he did, so
Yeah.
no big deal.
yeah. Otherwise, this isn't going away. That shit burned.
I'm used to the pain now.
Well, I mean, if it's bad eyesight, I mean, maybe a lesser restoration would work, right?
You can try, but I'm not confident.
Better than nothing, I guess. And you know what? I guess
I mean,
I will cast on
Yeah,
Evasion.
Greylog said he knows Greater.
Yeah,
Well, but Paul's just curious if he can fix it while he's thinking about it. Basically,
yeah,
save Greylog the trouble.
and also just a greater restoration, just high end. Um, I mean, he'll cast a lesser restoration on Evasion,
Okay.
which cures cures the conditions of blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
All right.
mhm.
Paul,
And this is like a lesser form of deafen or blinding.
Paul,
That's what I
you
thought.
press a healing hand to Avaben's shoulder, but Avaben, while you do feel good, your color vision does not return.
I like how the more extreme version, blindness is cured by lesser, but you need a greater one to restore a lesser effect.
Because it's a very specific part of the eye.
And
Not
bear
the
in
whole
mind,
thing.
usually the blinded condition is temporary. Basically, Paul could fix it if like you got flashbanged, and he could like give you your vision back. But as Mark noted, this like pattern of color literally burned your eyes in such a way that it ruined your color vision. That's a permanent injury that it can't be easily fixed.
But I will go ahead and cast Greater Restoration on both Ibabin and Asari.
How much how much health did I gain from lesser?
I don't think it
Oh,
heals you. I think
yeah.
it just I think it just cures conditions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Greater restoration.
Not
All right, you do indeed have the slots. Do you have the diamonds?
I don't have the Diamond Dust. Okay, once we get back to the city, I will cast the spells on you guys.
That's fine.
There's also that.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
And don't touch.
how's the ship doing? Because of the
It's beginning to tilt a bit towards the stern.
let's get out of here real quick.
Yeah, good
And
call.
I won't touch anything else. Let's go.
You all make a run for it. Sling yourselves over the side. And as you're making your way back to shore and looking back, you hear this. And you see the ship has righted itself. And Greylog, while your backpack was bursting at the seams, it suddenly feels light again. Paul and Asari, remove all coins
Yeah.
from your inventory.
I already
Greylog, you
did.
have no more than what you started with.
I
That
already
sucks.
did.
So,
I'm doing it.
Mark, what was up with that? Like, how does that work?
Duplication magic. It's illusory gold made by leprechauns. The staff was rigged with
Wait, leprechaun?
yeah, leprechauns.
So good for paying off large amounts of debt to people you're never going to meet again. Got it.
That's the idea. Looks like this bastard figured out how to turn it into a booby trap. Likely put it under the gold paint of that staff. Anyone who takes it, all the gold in the room starts to multiply. Half of it's fake after about 10 minutes. What's not real just fades away. But what does it matter? By that point, you've either already drowned or thought that you got what you wanted and left, and you won't realize anything's wrong until you make it home.
Smarts.
I know my booby traps just as well as I know my boobies. And they kind of elbow Avaben playfully in the knee.
Baby
have to
just
see-
rolls his eyes.
I might have to see about getting some business classes from you. I'm working on opening a shop and getting more business in it.
The hell a good tavern, I've heard.
Yeah.
They give you a nod and a tip of the hat. Well, I'd be happy to talk business once we lick our wounds. And they kind of
Oh,
give a
yes.
wince to Avaben and pat him on the waistline. Let's get your eyes looked at as soon as we get back, all right?
Again, I do genuinely hope that you enjoy what you've gained by scarring your fellow party members.
Hey, y'all didn't have to be there. I told y'all could have left at any point. It's your choice to stay.
Oh, stop.
I believe that was afterwards or before you said that, but either way.
Either way, I will fix my mistake once we get back to civilization.
As you all begin to ascend, specifically while you're crawling through the tunnel of mushrooms. At this point, you guys are used to it, so you just, hold your breath. Don't let them infect you. If you do, Paul fixes you. But Greylog, you start to notice, whereas originally the mushrooms had been odd, certainly, but certainly talkative in the way that creatures of nature are to druids, there's this cold, judgmental silence.
They're judging you, Jeremy.
I think he forgot something.
I think
What
you're
did I
right.
Let me think. What did I forget?
Didn't he make some kind of deal?
The druids the nature spirits would only forgive him if he proved he could not be greedy. And literally, it's too late now, so I'm just gonna say this freely. I'm not shitting you, Greylog. Literally, if you had just left, a nature spirit was going to approach you and say you were forgiven. But you just couldn't resist the temptation.
But this isn't just about greed. He's just trying to get wares
Why do
for
you want
his
money
shop.
if you're not? Why do you want money if you're not intending to spend it?
Just because you spend money doesn't make you greedy.
Yes, it absolutely does.
It's a way of life. You gotta spend money to live.
No ethical consumption under capitalism.
Like he's just trying to make sure that he can support like his new tavern, and because he's not making
Brings
enough
you
money through that yet,
monetary gain by its existence.
which is then going to help other people.
It's
not
it's
just for
literally a
himself.
capitalism argument.
Yeah, this is literally like trickle down economics in
Yeah, like,
D&D.
You sell things to get stuff to help others, to help yourself as well, but not to the point to like being like overly like.
Oh my god.
I
It's
mean,
not selfish.
You're literally trying to get off like on technicalities at this point.
Well, isn't that the biggest
Take
thing? Was
it,
he's not
honey.
supposed to be selfish?
Just take the hit.
He's not
It's
keeping
fine.
all this to himself. It's just he's got the bag of holding, so he was putting it in his bag. He is going to share.
I will say, for what it's worth, in some depictions of hell, the circle of greed is not just inhabited by the obsessive hoarders, it is also inhabited by the obsessive spender.
And to build off of that, there's a quote. It is easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven. It doesn't say whether or not they spend it on good things. It is a matter of they have it at all.
Yeah, Jeremy.
You
He
cross
was
the
trying
shipyard.
so hard.
I know.
Maybe you could try to make another deal.
He can't. Hell's gonna kill him if he tries.
They'll make deals with, death gods.
Well,
Oh,
to be fair, that one wasn't his
yeah.
fault.
That one was either deal or death.
Yeah, just die. You all
Yeah, it
make
was
your way.
that or roll a new character.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, that was Avaven's, or not Avaven. Avaven's fault.
Wait, what happened?
You're the one who
Greylock
killed them.
died for the first time because you killed them.
You're the one who killed him that time.
Wait. I forgot. What did I do?
Shot an explosive
Fire
arrow.
Remember the arena and the explosive arrow? You shot in the corner, then Avaven was teleported over there.
Oh, yeah.
You make your way across the shipyard, and as you make your exit, you see the crew of the Rotterdam are in the process of leaving. There's a few stragglers just chatting with your crew. However, they are also packing up and on their way, mostly just dragging the cannon they brought behind them.
That's gonna be a bit.
And Captain Thown gives a smile as you all exit. And wondering where you old beans trotted off to? Forget something?
Oh,
Yeah.
just a minor thing.
Does she see the little halfling with us?
Or did she already
They don't
leave?
seem to react to their presence.
He dipped. I bet he dipped, didn't he? Like, I bet if Raven looks, he's gone.
Roll perception.
Am I in daylight?
Yes.
Okay, so I gotta roll with disadvantage.
Wouldn't it be disadvantage anyway since he can't see color?
I'm not going to say that for because that doesn't apply for things like dark vision. So
Alright,
Yeah, 'cause
the
in dark
lowest
vision,
was
you're
a 19 in
colorblind
total.
Avaben, as you turn to look where you had seen them on the way up and check the surrounding jungle, the halfling is nowhere in sight.
Minor thing.
Well, pleasure to see you made it back in one piece twice now. Ready to make our way back home? I, for one, am looking forward to a fine glass of drink and celebrate a job well done. Quite eager to see if Clavart can truly provide this key of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe
Understood.
you can stop by Greylog's new tavern.
Perhaps I shall, assuming you're stalking my favorites, of course. And he gives you a wink, Greylog.
Oh, what's your favorite?
He pulls out the from his jacket the glass that you recall the party having offered him and that he had been drinking when you first met him. The Bretonnian nog drink known as Poussey.
Does he have that in his tavern?
It's a bit of an odd choice, but you could easily get it in stock.
Well, if not, I can get it for you.
You are an absolute gem, you are. All right, let's make our way home.
And just so he can keep his side of the deal with the with Mark, he will cast. He'll mumble under his breath where the guy can hear him. Okay, I'm going to open that portal for you, just so I can say I kept my side of the deal. And as
Is he
he
saying
walks
that?
by and touch
Oh,
a
okay.
tree, he'll cast transport by a plant as he keeps walking. So he can either take it or he won't. But he did his part.
Yeah. The deal has been struck, and the ends have been met.
Going down. Oh, I found water.
As you start making your way back to camp, several members of the crew stop by to congratulate you. Avaben, your elvish friends both pull you into respective hugs, and immediately just start bombarding you with curious questions about what was it like down there? What did you find? Did you get any cool treasure?
Oh, it's a long story. So, were the two of you still eager about joining me in these adventures?
You mean after almost getting killed at sea by an insane pirate hunter, being stranded on a deserted island with a hyper-dangerous apex predator, going through a magical nest down into a ship graveyard haunted by ghosts, trying desperately not to set off a curse maintained by one of the most dangerous pirate captains that ever lived, just so that we can get the key to a door we're not even intending to open? Yes! It was so much fun!
Like he was
Yeah.
gonna say that.
Yeah, the feeling.
I guess whenever you... I guess certainly compared to being in the forest all day.
Oh, this is so much better than politics and paperwork.
I guess you could say it's absolutely thrilling.
They give an enthused nod over their shoulder to you.
Was that a pun of some kind?
Yes, it was a very bad one, but it was come up
Like,
with.
I don't even
Kind of.
understand the pun.
Sorry,
The
just
way.
kind of pats Greylog on the head. Don't you worry, he makes dad jokes all the time.
Baben is like, was that supposed to be a joke?
It was a dad joke. You'll
I don't
get
even
used to it.
understand what the joke was.
It's alright, don't think too hard on it.
No,
That is
seriously,
more
out of
fun
character.
than-
I legitimately don't understand that.
No, don't
That
think too much on it.
Being here and always in danger is more fun than just being a pencil pusher.
Yeah, but it
Uh-huh,
sounds just like
uh-huh.
I could tell the joke. Like, should I do it? Should I do that jail? Jail.
Yeah, joke jail.
Like I'm willing to admit it's bad. Okay.
I mean, he just made a
But-
statement.
I think the way he said it kind of deal.
You all roast your druid for his humor.
Is he a druid still, though?
I mean,
Yes.
he's still a druid, just not.
Bear
paper
in mind,
cut.
the modern nature spirits still like him. It's the old ancient ones that don't like him.
Modern ones are kind of like, whatever.
It's grandma and grandpa nature spirit that doesn't
Basically,
like
yes. Because bear in mind, the nature spirits that you upset in the first place were literally the first nature spirits of the Third Age.
Yeah.
Which is certainly not ideal for a druid to be on their bad side, but I mean, you still got your wildfire spirit and your more down to earth teenage buddies who are just like, yeah, have as much money as you want. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I like those guys.
Just recycled paper anyway.
All
This
of
was
them
first
should
edition.
be
He
more
wouldn't
like
be
that.
a druid anymore.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. If he was his first ad, it'd be like, well, roll up a fighter. Do you all have any final business you wish to conduct on this island?
God,
No.
no.
I hit sand!
Get us off this rock.
Does what's his face? Did he get his backpack and stuff?
Yes. Klavak, enthused to get off this island himself, quickly grabs his hidden backpack and joins you all in a longboat, rowing back to the breaker.
I was just going to say to him, by the way, whenever we get back, you better look out for a certain dolly with a trolley.
I know I'm not exactly popular. You know what they say, too much of a good thing. I'll just take a moment to get my bearings and Maybe I'll make my way north.
How far north?
Just across the coast. It's been a while since I've done business in Hyperborea. Perhaps I should reintroduce myself. Thanks to all of you, I can go wherever I want now.
Yeah, that's true.
How does that make you feel?
Relieved. I would hate for somebody else to get hurt just because something was chasing me.
Now, as for leaving the island, does anything happen?
Roll perception.
Oh my god, Matthew.
$21.
While you don't see anything,
Uh-huh.
you do note that you don't encounter any of the strange flora and fauna of this island on the way back. And that same feeling that had been crawling up your skin in the cave returns to you, as if something on the beach that you can't see is watching you and is not happy with what they're seeing. While no harm is brought to you, it does give you that kind of sinking pit in your stomach.
You got bad vibes, bro.
Can I tell what it is?
Roll Arcana.
Also, by the way, just out of curiosity, did we see any of that webbing on the island still?
Not any more than you expected to see from going, kind of in and out. It looks like it can survive for a while away from Sanguis, so you weren't expecting it to start just like suddenly collapsing or anything. But you don't see any more that would indicate the creature survived.
Fair enough.
Okay, natural 20.
You remember what Asari had been informing you and Avaben of, that there are ancient druidic chameleon people living somewhere on this island.
Oh no.
And as you look around, while you can't see them, that's one of the few things you can think of that would explain this feeling you have of being watched.
My friend, you don't have friends.
Not among the old druids, at least.
Exactly, I gotcha.
And we're already like in the water on the way to the ship, right?
Yeah, but you can
By
still
that
see
point.
the jungle tree line by this point. You guys were within like rowing range whenever you got here.
Okay.
All right.
Not gonna tell anybody? Jeez.
Yeah, something.
Some things you got to do alone.
I'm
Does
sure
anybody
they all
else have
feel
the
it.
feeling of being watched?
Yeah, do we get any creepy vibes?
Roll
Can I
perception.
roll for a vibe check?
Roll
Let me
perception.
roll at disadvantage.
No, I guess like naturally Greylog will shudder
Wait, do I have disadvantage for this?
and mutter about being watched.
And I'm going to say yes, because while you're not necessarily relying on sight, you're still like, there's going to be that instinct of like looking around to see if something's looking at you.
Alright, then 14.
All right, 14 from you. Sorry.
Hang on.
Paul is just oblivious.
I got a 17. Sorry.
Yeah, he will mention the fact that like he'll shudder like mutter that somebody's watching them.
Honey, you're muttering again.
Avaben, Asari, while you do notice his shudder, looking around, you don't see anything. Maybe it's just jitters.
I think you're just a little nervous because they woke you up. You're fine. Just walk it off. I'll make you a pot of tea when we get inside the ship, alright?
Okay.
As you all make your way back, you climb aboard. There's a small delay as just some minor repairs need to be made to the mast that suffered some cannonball damage. But eventually, the breaker turns, and you put Suicide Hollow to your rudder. Paul, in the distance of Aben, if you squint up in the lookout's position, you can just make out the distant blot of the Rotterdam making its way away from the island, and presumably ne'er to return, likely making their way home.
Raven just says to the crew, and you all thought we'd be dead by now.
Never stopped doubting you for a second, boy. I'm joking. I believed in you the whole way, and thanks to you, I can say that about the man in the mirror, too. Now, Clavok, old bean, this far enough away for your liking? I'd rather like to see what we almost took a cannonball for. Yes, of course. Gather round, everyone. Now, bear in mind, this thing is a bit dangerous. I recommend not putting it on unless you really know what you're doing.
Raven looks to Greylog.
Yeah, I would say Azari also looks like Greylog.
What?
The reputation you make.
Love, you don't have the greatest of patience.
But it will serve your purposes as a key, even if nobody wears it. And reaching into his backpack, he pulls free a mask. Brilliant red, almost demonic. Thick black brows, gleaming orange eyes, and a long goblin-like nose. Fanged teeth.
What is Krampus?
Not quite. This is modeled after a Perusian demon. Goes by Moscow.
It's
Do I
interesting.
know anything about the mask?
Yeah, does it sound familiar? Like I may have read about it, maybe?
Where was
Both-
it from again?
Perusia, and he said the demon that it's modeled after was named Moscow. And
Does Raven recognize that?
all of you roll history. In the meantime, Paul, you doing anything?
I guess Paul will ask,
Ooh!
what is it capable of?
All right, I will do the history checks, and then
I
your
got a
background.
27. I got a natural 19.
Okay. 27 from
Some
you.
people's history is better than ours.
Sorry.
17.
Okay, 17 from you. Avaben?
15.
I mean, this is literally my build, so.
Oh, yeah, that was fair.
I wasn't like actually like.
Yeah, nobody was scolding you. It was more just an observation. This is why we have an archaeologist in this campaign. We need them for shit like this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And sorry, Avaben, yours again?
15.
All of you are familiar with at least the basic story, although you all know it from different things. Avaben, back where you lived, the Spriggans are considered dangerous for a very good reason. You've all seen it yourself now. They're children. They play, but children tend to play rough. They don't think about breaking their toys. Mom and dad can just buy them a new one after all. And even if they can't, a child just can't rationalize that way. It's hard. It's a very mature train of thought to be like, I should be gentle because I might break it. Spriggans tend to treat their friends the same way. Avaben, you recall that even the Spriggans speak in distaste of an ancient Spriggan among their ranks by the name that Clavok gives, Moscow.
Did what was his Spriggan friend called? Orlog?
Yeah, Orlog.
Did he ever like? Did he ever mention that one?
In passing. He never met him personally, although he does speak in passing in the usual mad ramblings the fair folk speak in, that supposedly this Spriggan was maniacal even by their standards, and was eventually banished from the forest for being too hard to control. which think about what that tells you on its own.
Wow.
A friend of yours that has injured you multiple times and almost killed you did not want to play with him. Asari, your familiarity comes in the form of stories, most of them dismissed as fiction. They say that in another world, long ago, there was a Spriggan by the name of Moscow. Banished from his home, he traveled the world, creating likenesses of different characters he wished to be. Eventually, he would meet his match in the form of a strange woman he would meet on a heist. The two of them traveled for a good long while, but even an elf meets its end eventually. And then Moscow was alone. Taking out his rage and pain on the world around him. Eventually, his spirit was sealed within a mask. Supposedly to keep this heinous, playful trickster at bay. And they say to this day, the mask that you now have before you has been a long sought after archaeological artifact.
Mm-hmm.
It is said that ancient empires used to use it for hexing rituals, to cast curses on those who displeased them.
Do you mind if I handle that for a moment?
By all means, it's yours. And as he hands it over, Greylog, you watch it.
Deity had this.
I'll try to get one person at a time. Greylog, your knowledge of the story comes from a more down-to-earth tale. And yours is the most mundane retelling of it. They say that a warlock that had previously on an adventure saved the world used to worship this deity as something of a god, at least as much as the warlocks of that ilk see anything as a true god. And they say that her soul was so good that the evil that was Moscow was tempered. He gifted her with his final mask, his greatest creation, in exchange for her kindness. And they say she would eventually marry into a royal family across the sea, and Moscow would be reborn as a mortal child to live a proper childhood that he could finally grow out of, rather than being trapped in forever.
I like that one better.
Paul, in response to your question, Klavak kind of scratches the side of his neck, and I try to keep testing to a healthy minimum. This thing does things to your head, but as far as I can tell, makes you a bit more persuasive. You can float, curse other people. I've even been able to turn things into other things with it.
Are you able to change your appearance?
Easily, like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Forget appearances. I could easily change myself or someone else into a completely different species, at least for a time.
Well, that would match up with what I've read about this particular demon. She
Avaben,
kind of like caresses the mask a little bit, like trying to decide what to do with it.
and Avaben, he looks to you next in response to your question, and actually, it wasn't a god. It was me.
Hang on, what?
I thought these are all supposed to be items that the gods own.
They are.
Their little meeting.
Don't mistake me, they are. But they can't hold on to them during the meeting for political reasons. Not fair to bring a weapon to what's supposed to be a diplomatic summit. So they scatter them, which is why you guys are having to make these little jaunts everywhere. In my case, the Unseelie court trusted me with the mask. Said that if anyone could be trusted to keep it safe, it'd be me.
So which god owns it?
Not one god, just the Unseelie court in general. They're not quite gods per se, but it's rude to exclude.
Raven recognize the unseelie court.
Roll history.
Dice jail. You're rolling. You're getting very low, close to being very low, and you rolled low earlier. Didn't mean to roll you a second ago. 14.
You've heard the name. You're quite familiar with it yourself. The Spriggans are members of the Unseelie Court. The Fair Folk is divided up largely between two factions, the Seelie and Unseelie Court. Sherwood falls under the dominion of the Unseelie Court. However, they do respectfully allow diplomats from the Seelie Court to look around and make debate with them. But the elves, being very distant relations, and not to mention not really being able to comprehend any of it, are usually excluded from these meetings. But you are at least familiar. The Spriggans are considered lesser members of the Unseelie Court. However, you do know that a few of them, including your little buddy, do occasionally get to have tea and crumpets with higher-ranking diplomats of the Unseelie Court.
Tea and crumpets.
You know the Unseelie Court represents the coming of autumn and winter, as well as the sort of lack of manners that is often seen in the common folk.
So they had this mask and gave it to you so they could go to this meeting.
That's the idea. The gods aren't really letting them vote on anything. It's just, again, not a great idea to exclude them.
Even the gods worry about them.
As they well should. I think I'm probably the only person here who could get away with disrespecting them.
And I'm sure even then.
He gives a bit of a shrug. And now be warned. This mask comes with a price.
All right.
Moscow meant for this mask to only be worn by those he considered friends, family even. Not only will you need to make a pact with the Unseelie Court to even use its powers, but even if you do, if you don't have Moscow's approval, it'll slowly drive you mad. No mortal is meant to see the world as the Unseelie do.
That's very true.
So how does one get his approval? You know, hypothetically speaking.
And technically, doesn't Greylog already see the world as the Unseelie do ever since he made a deal with that fairy?
You don't permanently see the world the way they do. You got a glimpse of it very briefly. And even then, you are not bound to them.
Yeah, otherwise you'd still be hearing us.
Yeah, you the fourth wall wouldn't exist for you otherwise.
Remember, you gave us like plans like we can like make stuff up for our backstories.
Yeah,
right?
go nuts, I don't care.
I remember one of Orlog's tricks went a little awry one time, and I got a view of the things the way he saw it.
It's a hard burden to bear.
He realized his mistake and quickly righted it. I think that's the only
Definitely a
time I've seen
headache.
him actually be concerned about something.
We mere mortals are not meant to see things the way they do, I suppose. Even the gods don't always get glimpses of the other world.
Do you think Aveva could remember like what that feeling would have been like saying that even briefly?
Greylog would probably describe it. You know, big headache, excruciating pain.
Avaben, not only that, but you recall what little coherency you could even gather from a view of the other world. It was invasively foreign. You remember feeling like the best way that it could be described is you felt like you were no longer you. Like you were just a string of words spoken by a deity that you couldn't even comprehend. The moment the deity speaks, you come to be. But then the moment it falls silent, you cease. Over and over again, endlessly.
That's interesting.
in lifespans that are the blink of an eye to these deities, but could feel like the immortal life of an elf to you. And all the while, the fair folk listen, and the unseelie, as well as your friend, giggle, as these deities make calm chatter about the nature of your existence. Something that is so, so important to you, fundamental to the way you see this world. And your childhood friends, who you thought, up until then, you just thought of as potentially dangerous, child-minded creatures, laugh maniacally as their reality is made and unmade at the words of creatures that are beyond even the grip of the gods.
And I guess that's probably around the time where the ship got righted, as it were.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like he didn't, like, I don't know, maybe he was like messing around with like portals or something and accidentally made a portal to his side of things.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to follow him. Most, of course, in your village are told to never follow them.
I think he said something along the lines of some paths are not meant to be walked. Something cryptic like that.
The road less traveled can often be less traveled for a perfectly good reason. But now the mask's power is yours. If you wish to use it, you'll need to make communion with the Unseelie Court and with Moscow. As for where he is, well, unfortunately, you're out of luck there. He's dead.
I've heard he's actually trapped in that mask.
So the story goes, but I don't think it's quite that simple.
I mean, there's really only one way to find out.
I would advise against it, but I know there's no point trying to convince you otherwise.
Oh no, for God's sakes, no. I'm not. I don't have a death wish. I'm just pointing out,
The Unseelie Court can give you permission to wear it, and as long as you take it off before a full day passes, you should be all right. Just be careful. You've all done me the good grace of saving me, or at the very least saving others around me, and I won't always be around to save you.
If you were so confident, why didn't you kill this creature that was chasing you yourself?
I tried. Every time I approached, it simply absconded. Likely was hoping to use me as bait, but I suppose it bit off a bit more than it could chew this time. I would have just left, but I was concerned it would follow me, as I told you.
I mean, you seem quite resourceful. I'm sure you could have found a way to corner it.
I tried, but to do so would involve disturbing the island, and I am many things, but respectful is one of them. I will not tread where I am not wanted.
Fair enough.
Sorry, unless you intend to pass it on to someone else, you may add Moscow's mask to your inventory.
Yeah. Just write it down for me later so I can put it in later.
I'll just throw it in your inventory for you.
Oh, thank you.
Do you all have any final interactions or things you wish to do or say before the return trip to Tortage gets underway?
Nothing here.
I guess I'll just make sure to help with repairs.
All right. Asari, as you look over the party's latest acquisition with eager, scholarly eyes, Paul breaks away to begin aiding in the sailing. And returning to your positions, you all begin preparing to return home, where Anna will then proceed to figure out where the final free key to the divine doorway is. One last leg of the journey, and then all that's left is you and the Boomergangers. all that stands between that door and whatever's on the other side of it and the rest of the world that may potentially be at its mercy. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session and this chapter.
Level up?
You
Oh, wait,
all
no,
level
we
up
already
twice.
leveled up.
Yeah.
Did you already level up?
Well, you didn't put
yes
it on
and
your
no.
character sheet yet, so I just told you how many levels you were going to get. You are all now level 16.
Woohoo!
And that is the end of Chapter 5, Blood in the Water. You have acquired Moscow's Mask. It appears even the fair folk are not completely excluded from this, as the ancient unseelie deity of Aben's homeland has thrown their hat into the ring as a piece of the puzzle. Before I reveal the name of Chapter 6, outro. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer that's totally going to put that mask on.
Yeah, I was worried, but I'm like, well, it's probably gonna happen.
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get your podcast from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/OddTornadoProductions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other work, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon at Patreon. That link's to be posted in chat, or on Ko-fi at kofi.com/OddTornadoProductions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd. The TNO are capitalized, so you can get immediate updates when we go live, as well as updates on everything else we're working on. If you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Tuesdays, as tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can just stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. Thanks, everyone, so much for being at the table. Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. And we will be taking next week off from this game, but the week after, we will be conducting our interlude to close out the level ups and this chapter, and be beginning Chapter 6 on the Railroad.
Matthew.
Yes?
Can I give a little bit of lore for the viewers and party?
Sure, if you want.
I was just okay.
You want to do it whenever you have more time to think it out?
No. I just need okay. So after we leave the island, all the webbing would basically would retract to a single point, and a little sliver of red would slip away into the night.
Basically, Red's alive.
Not
Red is dead.
Sanguis is
the
alive.
Parasite is alive.
Is a little bit of red would slip away.
Yeah, I just read the color.
Yeah. The parasite lives.
Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. Thanks, everyone at the table, so much for playing. And we'll see you all next week.